Hi everyone, my name's Kalthoff, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. I am so excited to share a cute little project I made for all my hostesses. Twice a year I have a little open house and my hostesses get to come and they get to make all the projects absolutely free and they get a gift, and this is of course the gift for this last time around. Maybe I'll hold it up a little closer to the camera, but it's one of our half-size wood mount boxes, and on the inside, check this out, so there's a beautiful watercolor tag on the front, and then on the inside we have 4 darling 3x3 cards, and thank you, happy birthday, congrats, and a blank, and then we have some, of course, some chocolates, and then 4 matching envelopes. So I'm going to show you how to put this together today. I actually saw some similar designed hostess gifts at Founders Circle, and I knew as soon as I saw it that that was going to be what my hostesses got too. So I'm just so happy to share this with you. So the first thing that of course you're going to need is one of those half-size wood mount boxes, and here it is. You can buy them in a 4-pack. They're very inexpensive. You're going to open it up because we're going to slip this paper in underneath the sleeve. And the paper that we're using is the Watercolor Wonder Designer Series paper. It's out of the Spring Mini Catalog. I've cut this at 3 5/16 by 6 1/4. And then we're just going to slip it under and put it right in here. It'll fit in here absolutely perfectly. And then we can just shut it, and that is it. That's ready to go. And now we're going to make a tag for the top of it. So I'm going to get some scrap paper in here because we're going to do a little spritzing. We have in this container, this is one of our Stampin' Up! Spritzers, and I always label it. Well, not always. Sometimes I forget. But this is Daffodil Delight Re-Inker, and I squirt about, I don't know, 1/2 inch of re-inker into the bottom. And then depending on what I'm using it for, I either fill it with rubbing alcohol or I fill it with water. Now this one's filled with water. And I'm going to get a little bit of watercolor paper. So you want to cut that at 2 by 3.5 inches. And then we're going to put this through our new scallop tag topper punch. So we've got that really awesome punch right here. Punch that out, and then we have our little tag. So we are just going to go ahead and take this spritzer of Daffodil Delight, and we're going to spritz the entire thing. And I don't really mind if it looks a little bit, you know, if it's not really perfect. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our, this is what we call an aqua painter, and we are going to take some, I don't know if you can see it very well in here, but it is just some leftover re-inker from some other tags that I was working on, and it's in Tangerine Tango. So I'm just squeezing the barrel of it so it gets nice and juicy, and then I'm just going to put some Tangerine Tango right on the bottom of this tag, and I'm just kind of, you know, being a little artistic. I don't really care how it looks. I want it to look all watercolory. And I think that looks perfect. I think it's real easy to overdo it and keep trying to make it look better. Don't be tempted to do that. Just let it kind of happen naturally, and then just quit. Quit while you're ahead. I know, the hardest thing to do, right? Especially when we're stampers. So now I'm going to take away the scrap paper, and we're going to let this dry real good before we do anything else with it. So I'm going to take it off camera for a second, and I'm going to show you what we put inside the box, because we're going to need a base. We're going to need something that separates our candy from the cards. So the base of our box is a piece of Tangerine Tango cardstock, and it's cut at 3 3/8 by 6 1/4, and then you will score it at 3 1/4, 4 inches, and 4 3/4 inches. And so I have a piece right here, and I'm just going to fold that up just like this. And then what I'm going to do is get that ready for my box. And the way I do that is I take dimensionals, and I'm going to put 3 dimensionals right through that valley fold on the back. And now I just push that together. And now I have a divider between where my cards are going to sit and where my candy is going to sit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into my box. So that's going to fit right here. And if you don't want it sliding around, you might want to put a couple of glue dots in there. But I'm kind of fine just leaving it. And then we're going to go ahead and put our candies in. So I have some Hershey Nuggets, and I've got a couple of them wrapped. And then I do use glue dots on the bottom of these because I don't want them sliding everywhere. So I just put a glue dot on. Oh goodness, that glue dot doesn't want to come off. There we go. Set that right there. Then how we wrap these is you just take some Designer Series paper, and again, all this Designer Series paper is the Watercolor Wonder. It's 1 inch by 3 inch, just a strip. Take a glue dot, put a little glue dot at the very end of the strip, and then you're just going to wrap it around the nugget. And I start by wrapping the glue dot in first, and then I bring the other end around to meet the glue dot. And that's how you wrap a nugget. And then we're just going to add another glue dot to the back. And we're going to put this right here. And then we're going to add one more glue dot to this one. I happen to have one on my fingernail. I don't know, it just got there. And then we'll set that right here. So we have our nuggets all ready to go. And now we can go ahead and start doing the rest of our cards. So we are going to do, and I've got a couple of them done for you. So I've got the congrats card done, and I've got a thank you card done. And now I'm going to show you what those card sizes are. So you're going to need 2 pieces of Tangerine Tango cut at 3 by 6 inches and scored at 3 inches. And then you're just going to fold that in half, and then we're just going to layer it up. So then we have a 2 3/4 inch square piece of Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to add a little glue to the back and glue this onto our 3 by 3 inch card front base here. And then I've already stamped this. This stamp that we're using is called the Happy Watercolor Stamp Set. I've been using it quite a bit, but I really, really like it. It's got sentiments, it's got some shadows and dots, and it's got 2 pretty flowers. So I just love it. And then the other thing I used with this set is Says It All. And then I've also used Round Array on some of our wooden elements. So this is cut at 2 5/8 inches, all of these Designer Series papers that I'm stamping on. So let's go ahead and glue that on too. And then one thing that's kind of fun to do is to put little rhinestones in some of these cards just to brighten them up. So what I did is I've got an orange Sharpie marker, and I just took a little strip. These are the rope rhinestones, but I cut them apart, and then I just took my Sharpie, and you can kind of see how I do this. I'm sure well, maybe not. Maybe you haven't seen this done before, but you can just take your Sharpie marker and draw around the rhinestone, and in a couple of seconds it's dry, and you can go ahead and use it. So I'm going to take my paper piercing tool, and I am just going to put 5 rhinestones onto this card front. And we're just going to put 2 right there. And then we don't need to put a rhinestone on this one because that flower is kind of facing away from us. But we'll add 3 more rhinestones to this one. So 1 here, and then 1 up here. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? That just decorates it up so much. And I have another one over here, and I meant to do this before I started the video, but didn't quite get to it. So we'll just quickly do that since the rhinestones are already colored, and it's just so easy to put them on. And then 1 more. So we're going to use 10 really tiny rhinestones to make one card set. You'll need 10 of those little tiny rhinestones. Okay, and then of course you want to get the 3 by 3 envelopes. So those are done. And then we have the other type of flower, the little poppy flower. And I have thank you on this one. And then just to give you the dimensions again, for the Daffodil Delight, you'll need 2 strips of 3 by 6 inch paper scored at 3 inches. We'll fold that over, and then we'll just build it like we did the last card. You'll need 2 squares, 2 3/4 inches. I can't even talk today. And then I'm just going to glue that onto the front of my small 3x3 card. And then, of course, the Designer Series paper from the Watercolor Wonder stamp set. And I'm going to glue that on. And like I said, I used the Says It All stamp set, and I do have a tip for you that I want to share. It was real easy, of course, to do the thank you and to stamp the congrats. See? Because those don't really interfere with any of the flowers. But to put the happy birthday on here so that it didn't, like, I don't know, I didn't want the happy and the birthday landing right on top of that stem. I thought that would kind of detract from it. So what I did is I lined up my happy birthday onto my block G, and then I took a Sharpie marker and just drew a line right where the happy was. So happy is here and birthday is there. And then when I stamped it, I just made sure that that mark was lining up with my stem. And so when I went down, then I knew that the happy was going to be on one side of the stem and the birthday was going to be on the other side of the stem. So that's kind of one of the things I really like about acrylic, is I can just kind of, you know, draw a Sharpie marker or whatever on my blocks and then erase them when I'm done. I like that option. So now we have all of our cards done. So we're going to go ahead and layer them in here. So here's our birthday card. And then here's our all occasion blank card. Here's our envelope for that. And then the next card here is a little congrats card. Well, actually, we'll put our thank you card in next. And then our little congrats card. And there it is. Beautiful. And that's our little set. So we can go ahead and close it up. And now we just need to finish the front. And so we're going to bring our tag back into the picture. Look how gorgeous that is. I don't know if you can see on the camera as well as I can see in real life, but it is beautiful. And look how beautifully that coordinates with that Designer Series paper. All right, so we're going to finish it up. So we're going to take our scrap paper again, because we're going to do a little bit of stamping with our Stays on Black. And we are going to stamp this poppy flower onto the tag. So I'm going to ink it up, Stays on Black, and then I'm going to imagine that the card, that is going to be sort of tilted like this. So I'm just going to stamp that flower like this. Ooh, it turned out perfect. Doesn't it look beautiful? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lovely natural chevron ribbon trim. We're just going to thread it through. And I suppose I have about 5 inches here. And then, because I want the chevrons to show, I have to take this bottom piece and just twist that around. And then to make that stay, I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to put that on the top twist. And I'll show you what I do here in a sec. So I'm getting a glue dot and putting it on the top twist. And well, maybe I'm putting it on the top twist. There we go. And then I'm going to take this piece that's towards the bottom and just lay that right over the top of that glue dot. So now you see I have it so that the chevron shows on both sides. Then all I have to do is take my ribbon scissors, and I'm just going to trim this up to a nice little peak. Like that. Okay. And then all we have to do is do some kind of a wooden embellishment accent here. So I'm going to take this out of the picture, and I use the Around Array stamp set because it's got a lovely thank you, and these are the wooden embellishments that Stampin' Up! Has in the mini catalog, and it looks so cute, and we can just put that on right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dimensionals, and we are going to put some dimensionals on the back of this tag. And we will set this tag right onto our box like this. And then we're going to take our embellishment. We are going to add some glue dots to the back of it. I think about 2 of them. And then we can set this right like that. And there we go. We have a completed box for one of my hostesses. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day, and thanks so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. Bye-bye.